Good morning and welcome to Llyn On in the Brecon Beacons. I was going to say what a nice, peaceful, quiet morning it is, but obviously the traffic is now picking up because it's just coming up to what time? Sunrise is now. It's just coming up to sunrise now. 8:20 sunrise. So yeah, can you believe this is the last weekend of the decade? This is it. This is the end of the year. This is crackers. So yeah, if you've been watching my channel, following my channel, I want to say a huge thank you for the support, kind comments and everything that's the friends I've made and everything. It's just been fantastic. So really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. It's been a wonderful year. Hopefully, I've got lots of plans for next year. So hopefully next year will continue to be a good one as well. What I thought I'd do in this video, just to end the year, is I've come to a location I wouldn't normally come to. I've come with my mate Dave and his mate Simon. So what I thought I'd do is do a few tips on a few things, should I say, that I've picked up over the year that I think I've either improved my photography or changed the dynamic of my photography. So basically things like this, this actually getting you out more, getting you out doing things, experiencing, seeing new places that you perhaps wouldn't know any come to. So I thought I'd give you a few lessons I'd say I've learned over the year. Hopefully it'll help you with your photography as well. So I'm just going to wait. I've got the 51-40 lens on the camera. I'm just going to wait. I've got it at 2.8 because I don't need any depth of field. I'm just going to zoom in and pick out some of the detail in the trees because as the cold air starts to warm up, I'm hoping we get a bit of fog or smoke or mist or whatever you'll call it coming off the trees over there. So I'm hoping to, when the light comes through, it might catch the side of them trees, give us a bit of side light. That might be quite nice. Other than that, I can't really see a composition in this area, which is a bit of a shame, but it's really nice just to be out with the camera and with a couple of friends and just experience somewhere new. Right then, so I've got a list and I worked through all the things I thought. Not going to give you a patronising tips video or anything like that. I just thought I'd run through a few things that definitely have made my 2019 improve my photography experiences, maybe get out with the camera more, just general things that I think that are really important that I'm taking away from this year and I'm definitely going to implement into next year's photography as well. So first on the list, I'm going to do this all from a list, hopefully in one take. First on the list, make friends in photography and say yes. So pretty much like this morning, I'm out with my mate Dave, who's been in a few of my videos. Don't know, he's just over the side of the bank over there with his mate Simon. So yeah, just coming down to this location. It's not a location I ever would have come to at all. I've driven past it. It's just a lake at the side of the road. I probably would never have pulled in here to take any photographs at all. It might be a nice place to camp actually, but I don't think you're allowed. But it's just one of them examples of just coming out with friends, making friends, coming out, committing to coming out, even if it's somewhere that they would go and you probably wouldn't want to go, but just somewhere to experience new places, see new things, and it gets you out so much more. We've just had the Christmas season, the Christmas period, and I've overindulged. So getting up this morning at 5 o'clock and getting out was a big effort, but if it wasn't for Dave and Simon meeting them here this morning, this would not have happened. So yeah, definitely make friends in photography, and if they have any ideas that they're going anywhere, any places to do some shoots and you've never been, or even if it doesn't sound like something you would do, just say yes, go along with it anyway. You'll never regret it, and honestly you'll come away with just experiencing something new. I might get a shot from here, I might not, doesn't really matter. Just getting out, meeting new people, just getting out, seeing new places that you perhaps would never have visited. So definitely make friends in photography and say yes. Create opportunities and say yes for them. So next on the list, read books. Now this is something that's I've struggled over the years to sort of pick up any photography. I've got lots of photography books. In fact, huge inspiration to me has been my mate Julian Baird, who's got a YouTube channel. I'll put a link to that, and he does an on my bookshelf photography book review, and some of the books he's got are phenomenal, and it made me want to sort of get into sort of seeing how other photographers, what they look for compositions wise, and look as well, look at the locations they've been, not just that, but look at the photography that they've done and see what I like and what I don't like, sort of thing. And obviously look at seeing images in print really does make a huge difference. And it's inspirational because it means you want to see your images in print as well. So that's really fantastic. But more so with the books is the street photography books that I've picked up. I've picked up some absolutely incredible street photography books, and they've helped me see street photography in a different light, pardon the pun. And I think I'm definitely going to do a lot more research, get a lot more books, and do a lot more sort of re-education, self-education in the next year, and try and improve my photography in every aspect through other acclaimed photographers. And yeah, I think books are definitely overlooked these days, and I'm definitely guilty of that. So yeah, grab a few books if you can. Right, what's next on the list? Plan locations and trips. So next year is going to be awesome. I had to cancel two. We had a newborn baby. We had a new baby, Ellis, in August, so we had to cancel a few trips. But next year coming, I've got a few photography trips planned that I am definitely going to commit to, and I can't wait to get there. And through Instagram as well, making friends all around the world, having these opportunities to go meet people, but literally plan trips, plan photography trips. Don't just go local if you can. It doesn't have to cost the earth. You can fly around Europe for next to nothing these days. I mean, this year alone has been fantastic for me, because I've been some fantastic photography in Scotland, in the Highlands. We were going to go to the Tetra Mountains in Poland, and last minute change of plan, we went to the Highlands in Scotland and Glencoe, and that was very, very rainy, but it was fantastic. So really glad we did that, and that was a last minute decision. So yeah, and then towards the end, was it summer, I ended up in Tuscany. That was for a wedding. I was doing some photography for a wedding, but I made the effort to do a few extra days and do a bit of street photography, a bit of traveling as well around there as well. So definitely traveling, make plans and commit to them. Don't put it to the side. Don't say next year. Don't say you can't afford it. Find a way. Honestly, you won't regret it, and it's just transformed the way I see photography and the way I see opportunities and the friends that you make. So yeah, definitely do that. Hard criticism on your images, on your own images. I mean, obviously it's great to get criticism from other people. Everybody likes to hear people say, yeah, your images are lovely, I really like that photograph. But literally, more so when I'm printing my images. If I print a photograph and I look at it and think, right, imagine this was going to print now. I did a photograph for a customer the other day, a 40-inch print. So I printed it A3+, so it was about this size. And I looked at it, I scrutinised it, and I really did push every possible criticism out of that photograph to my ability. And when it went to big print, to 40 inches wide, I was really happy with it. And it just meant that I'm looking for ways that I could have improved that photograph if I went. I'm not saying it was a perfect image by no means, but the next time I went, I knew not just minor details, but I was being a bit too hard on myself. But by doing that, you're gonna learn. You're gonna take in more information. It's easy to say, oh, that's a nice image, yeah, next, sort of thing. But if you want to get better, surely you've got to look at everything and think, how could you improve this? Not just a little bit, but a lot. What is the nitty gritty? Get down to it. Not so much technical settings, but compositional. Technical settings really don't that much of a difference these days, but just, I think the biggest improvement you can do is improving your composition. And obviously by looking at your own photographs and really saying, yeah, it's okay, I like it, but it needs to be this, it needs to be that. Really, I'm quite hard on my image, especially my street photography. I follow the likes of got some incredible friends in street photography, and their work really does push me to look at my images in so much depth. It's ridiculous. I'm really hard on my street photography, but I want to be eventually as good as some of these top street photographers. So the only way I'm going to get there is by pushing and scrutinising my work. So landscape photography, I'm not so hard on. I think if you go to some fantastic locations, it's relatively easy to come away with a shot that you're happy with. But to get one that you'd print and put on your wall, I think you've really got to scrutinise your work to get to that level. So yeah, that's what I'm definitely taking into 2020. It's to look at my work and overanalyze it and be as critical as possible. Not just sort of say, yeah, I like that image, next, but a lot more serious about it. Okay, this is a fantastic thing that I've learned this year. And it was shooting film that taught me this. When I think if you haven't got a film camera, or if you've never shot film, I'd get a cheap film camera. It doesn't have to be any good. Go out and take some photographs with it, because take less images and slow down is one of the best things I've ever picked up. Like, I could just be walking around spraying and praying here today, just looking for little different things. There's a bit of wood there, a bit of colour there, a bit of detail in the trees there, but literally just slow down. Spend some time in the environment, just taking it all in and seeing what has an effect on you. So imagine you're shooting film, you've only got 10 images or whatever, just literally slow down. Don't rush into it. And obviously if you can, it helps obviously in landscape photography to get there early and not rush. But I haven't taken a photograph yet. I'm gonna wait I'm not just going to spray and pray. I'm going to wait for something that jumps out at me that really catches my eye, and then that I know I'm going to enjoy it. So yeah, hopefully today I'll only go back with far fewer images than I would normally. In fact, today I'll probably go back with none. But yeah, definitely take less images and slow down. A huge thing that's improved my photography. Now this balance your images, something I'd heard of, and I spoke to Joe Cornish at the photo show, and he mentioned in his speech on the photo speed stand. Really nice guy, Joe Cornish, really fantastic gentleman. And one of the biggest things impact he had on me was when he said about balancing compositions. As soon as he explained what that meant, and then we re-looked at some of the photographs he'd taken, you could see how there wasn't anything top dominant or left hand dominant or right hand dominant or anything that was kind of too obvious that was distracting from the image that didn't balance it or whatever. And even if it's got a lot of negative space, you can still find a way of balancing the image by having something that's dominant in the opposite side or something that's somewhat small. You can do it, especially with street photography. I like a lot of negative space in some of my street photography, so it's difficult to balance an image, but I think if you get it right and you know what to look for, it really does make a difference. I think my balanced landscape images are definitely the ones, once you notice that it's a balanced image, you can see that that's a huge contribution to why you like that image. A lot of times you'll take a landscape photograph and you're cropping it vertically because there's too much space on the right hand side and it just pulls your eye away from the photograph, and you think, well, if that was portrait and just cropped into that bit, it has a nice shape there and it doesn't take your eye out of the photograph. And that for me it's a hard one to explain balancing, but I think once you see it, once you see the difference, and if you go out with the intention of balancing your images, it's a huge improvement. And it's something that I've adopted to every single photograph I've taken. I've slowed down and I'm looking at balancing my images, and it's really helped. So yeah, definitely a good one to learn there. Keep your images simple. This is the final tip, the final thing, should I say, not a tip. It's not one of them videos. Keep your images simple. Now, again, with street photography, I hate clutter, I hate things in the way. Landscape photography is the same. Love these trees, love the shape that they're causing with the mist behind them, but then the rest of it would just be white. And just keep the image simple, so that when the viewer or you look at the image, you'll know straight away what it is you're supposed to be looking at. If there's too much going on an image, for me, I literally just delete it. I just can't be bothered getting stuff out of it. But I'm always honed into something that's got nice light and a nice simple composition. Some of my best landscape images from this year, I'd say, are literally just a nice sky and a nice foreground or something like that. It's just, there's not a lot going on in the image. The more simple you can keep your images, the less can go wrong, and the more you're going to look at it straight away and go, that's the dominant subject, that's the complementary background or whatever it is, and it's straight away obvious what your customer then, what your viewer is going to be looking at. And I think some of the best images you'll ever look at have got a really dominant subject. It's obvious, it's not confusing, it's not like, what should I be looking at? And I think if you keep your images simple, it's so much less to go wrong. So, I mean, it's minimalistic photography is something I've always been hugely drawn to anyway. I think some of my favourite photographers have always been the long exposure, fine arty looking images, dead simple, creating shapes out of nothing. But when you look at it, it's obvious what you're supposed to be looking at. It's obvious about the contrast, the shape and everything. So yeah, keeping your images simple. I mean, that's an improve your photography tip, I suppose, but it's something that I like now. I'm definitely going to be getting rid of everything that I don't like, looking for small details. 70 to 200 lenses, obviously. This will be a 5140 on the Fuji, perfect for that. So you can literally just look for the details you like and then just isolate them, keep the image simple, and that has been a massive game changer with this year's photography. So right, let's go and see if we can actually find a photograph, because I don't really want to show you a video without any photographs. Taking less photographs, left it on burst.
Top 10 tips.
Yeah, 10 tips. Tip number 1: switch it to single shot. Oh, I need a filter. Well, what I hoped would happen almost did. The sun now has risen just enough to start lighting the side of the bank of that hill, which is really nice. So that's where I've pointed the 5140 lens, just at 140mm, which is 200mm equivalent, straight down the bottom there, just to make sure I get a nice simple shot. It's really quite nice, with the trees sticking out. It does balance because you've got the trees the same, you've got that V in the middle, but what unfortunately happened is it started to get quite a lot warmer now, so the mist that was lingering around on the trees has buggered off. It's a bit of a shame, but what I did want to happen was it's made some separation in the layers on the right hand side. It has happened. It's just that we kind of lost the moody atmospheric look, which is what drew me to the photograph in the first place. Bit of a shame. So I've taken a few shots, landscape and portrait, and I've pushed the histogram all the way to the right, because I can't decide whether this photograph is going to be really nice, bright, sort of fine art, minimalistic looking thing, or it's going to be dark and moody. So if I push the histogram all the way to the right, I've got the option then of dropping it back down and darkening it if I want to, but at least I'll have the detail and the shadows, so it won't be too much pressure on the sensor, on the raw file. But yeah, it's quite nice. I've gone for as close to a minute exposure as possible because I wanted to get rid of all the ripples. And I imagine this location would be fantastic actually if we did come back on a really, really still day, where that little peninsula that's sticking out on the left would reflect. Imagine that with autumn colours, that would be absolutely phenomenal. So definitely want to come back. So really glad we came here this morning. It's again somewhere I would literally have driven past. But yeah, got a few different options, portrait, landscape, all with the polarizer and an ND8 filter just to get rid of all the ripples. I went all the way up to f14. I've gone to f14 now, I'm down to f10 now, just experimenting with different shutter speeds and whatnot, just giving you a few options. But literally, I think I've taken 6 pictures, so yeah, not gone too crazy. But yeah, 2-second timer and long exposure. But yeah, I think this will work out all right. I can't believe it. This is my last landscape photograph of 2019. It's been a fantastic year. It's flown actually. Yeah, made some amazing friends. Thank you so much for you guys that have been following my channel for a while. It's been absolutely awesome. I mean, the contacts, the opportunities, the prospects that I've got for 2020 and all that through my YouTube channel has been phenomenal. So I really appreciate everybody that sort of followed me along on my journey. I hope my channel has helped you with your photography and encouraged you somewhat. And even for street photography, you're not into landscape photography, but perhaps my channel has helped you go out and attempt some street photography. It's been a fantastic year. I'm thrilled with it. Next year is looking really, really exciting too. So yeah, looking forward to getting out and seeing more of Europe. Obviously doing more street photography around Europe, more travelling, more camping, hopefully more astrophotography. That took a back burner this year, unfortunately. But yeah, I really do appreciate all the support and all the friends that I've made through my YouTube channel. So really, really, really mean it. Have a great new year 2020. Hope it's good for you, and hopefully I'll see you again in the new year. I'm finishing this video off with my friend's TLR camera. Dave lent me his Bronica TLR, which I'm going to do a nice square image there. It's got a 70, I think it's a 75. So yeah, 75mm lens on there, which is about 50mm equivalent. So it's a really, really nice lens. Nice little camera, great fun for landscape photography. So I'm going to finish my last photograph of 2019 with this TLR image. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed I won't call them tips, but I hope you enjoyed what lessons I've learned from and what I've taken away from this year anyway. And I look forward to seeing you again in the new year. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, follow me on Instagram. I'll see you in the new year.